Hey guys, this is Gigi again, Gigi for GB, and I'll be probably going live here on another channel here pretty soon, and maybe my brother Jesse and I will do another one. But we're going to be doing videos like you saw. This one is called "Dereliction of Duty," and I hope you guys can hear me. If you have a problem hearing me, just let me know. Uh, oh man, this is probably why that'll help with it if I connect. So, dereliction of duty, watchtower derelict of duty. So, um, here we go. So what's the point? I had a comment on the on my last video where the guy said, "Hey, it's not Watchtower's responsibility to educate you on financial matters." And I was like, "No, no, no, no." It's so sad how people defend Watchtower when they're so derelict of duty. First of all, Jesus said, and I'm not trying to preach to you like a Sunday sermon preacher, but Jesus made it very clear that if you want to be a minister, if you want to be a pope, a priest, if you want to be all whatever title, archbishop, or just name your title, pastor, all of these people want titles. Okay, you can have your title. But Jesus reminded you that the more that is given to you, the more will be expected of you. And it's a very simple concept. And then, uh, that's the rule. And that's that, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. Jesus said it, and that's just how it is. So we're not going to take any arguments on that one. But on Leviticus, when Aaron, Moses' brother, he was a priest and he was given instructions. And I was reading that the other day, or no, today. And he was given instructions about food, and how the Jews were not eating certain food. And like one of them was like iguanas, or like um, um, you know, like eagles and vultures. And so, when you look at some of the lists of the animals that they weren't eating, it was for a protection for them. So the point I'm trying to bring out is a lot of things that um, that a religious leaders as a group, the responsibility is to protect people, to protect them from all of the dangers that are known in the era that you live in, and to say, hey, these are the landmines. So we're going to talk about these landmines. We're going to talk about these scam artists. We're going to talk about all of the things that are happening today, how the Bible helps us avoid these landmines. And you look around all your friends and people you grew up with, and you think of all the damn problems that they have. And then I look and I think, no one really taught them. That's why Jesus says he looked at the people; they were sheep without shepherds. And when you look at all the people today, they're all tatted out. They got rings all over their, just all kinds of things. Purple hair. That's fine. People do whatever they want, but now you understand. People are running around everywhere. You just go outside, go to the store, go to Walmart. They're sheeps without shepherds. The capacity to think was not given to them when they were young. They didn't. And so it goes back to what I say is the derelict of duty of a lot of religious people, that they're not keeping it simple like we say. And we're going to talk about that, Jesse and I, how Watchtower is stealing our phrase, keep it simple. I think they put it to a song, but we'll talk about that in another video. But here's the point. They're taught religious people, Watchtower, we're just going to focus on Watchtower. That all of the things that you heard at the Kingdom Hall was not practical. So the point is this: you spend 2 hours at home at a Kingdom Hall meeting, and then you go home. And what do you have? What do you have that is of practical use? Now, I got to give it to some churches. Some churches, I think like Dave Ramsey and others, they go to churches where they actually have classes where they teach people about financial education and stuff like that, right? But the problem is some of those churches also want 10% of your monthly income. But that's another thing, a story for another day. But the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes you can go to church and this is good. You go to church and you actually learn things that you could go home and talk to your family, your children, your wife, your husband, your parents, and you can actually have a conversation and build on that. But with Watchtower, all of us know, no, there's no practical use. So I had me thinking, because check this out. I know this is a stretch because that person says, well, it's not Watchtower's responsibility. Yes, it is. And this is where you're wrong. I was at a store the other day, and I was also delivering at Costco, and everywhere, right now is watermelons, right? Seedless watermelons. I'm like, bullshit, seedless watermelons, man. And I went into Fry's grocery store, and one of those, it's a Kroger chain, and they had seeded watermelon from Mexico. I want to show you something. This is what's not being preached in the churches. Look at that. So this is what's not being preached in the churches. What's not being preached is that God gives you one seed, right? And you plant it, and you can get about 10 watermelons. And each watermelon has about 300 seeds, or say 100 seeds. Let's just say 100 seeds. But let's say it gives you 10 watermelons, in your harvest for just one seed. That's what? That's 1,000 seeds. And then the second year, you can have acreages upon acreages of seeds. And the Amish, they didn't go to college, and they produce this. But isn't it interesting that all of the people that work at the seedless watermelon, they all went to college. They all went to college. And they produce seedless watermelons, genetically modified food. And there's the story. So you say, Gilbert, what does that have to do with Watchtower? Simple. Am I saying to you that you shouldn't go to college? No, but a preacher should show children in high school. Say, listen, you're in high school. You think you know it all, but you don't know nothing. I just showed you a picture of watermelon. God gave you free seeds to plant. But you're going to go to school, and they're going to teach you how to make seedless watermelon. They're going to throw a patent on it. And in order for you to grow it, you have to pay the mother company that owns the patent. It's a monopoly. And it's also genetically modified, and it's not healthy. We all know it. And it doesn't taste as good as the original that God made. So what do you tell the child, the teenager that's thinking about going to college? That go to college, but there's landmines, and some people are going to entice you to do evil things. But there's also another group of people that choose not to. So be wise, my son. See, that's what King Solomon was saying in Proverbs. Be wise, my son. Yes, go to college. But Watchtower doesn't tell you this. Watchtower doesn't talk like King Solomon, that prepares a young man to say, yes, go to college and avoid the people that are doing genetically modified foods and produce good foods. And also from the Kingdom Hall. Why isn't this being preached? I have right here, right next, I forgot to bring it out, but I have this bulb of garlic, big, huge garlic, made in the United States, Gilroy. I get it at Trader Joe's because it comes from Gilroy, California. Big. And the organic ones are twice as big. But the Chinese ones that you get at all of the other stores, even at Walmart, it says made in China, they're half the size. And then you go on YouTube and you type in, farming in China with those garlic. It's not healthy. The quality controls are not there. Then, the human feces and everything. What is the point of all this? Well, Watchtower always talks about Matthew 24, that they provide the food at the proper time. And then they will always say, well, Gilbert, it's spiritual food. No. Jesus provided physical food to the apostles and to the people. Jesus provided physical food, then he provided real food. The point I'm trying to make is that we're being poisoned. We're being poisoned by Watchtower, but with their spiritual food that's tainted. But it's more. We all see it, that the genetically modified food. And Watchtower doesn't say a damn thing. And Watchtower will go and say, well, God's kingdom is going to fix this. But hell, between now and when God's kingdom, so you've been preaching for over 100 years and you haven't done shit. In over 100 years, you haven't done shit, Watchtower, and all you say is that God's going to bring his kingdom. But until then, you haven't produced shit, and you haven't taught people to say, hey, we need to fight against these corporations that don't have our best interest and the health of our family in mind. Instead, they keep quiet. And then some of you will say, well, of course, Gilbert, they're stockholders in these companies. Well, that's an argument for another day. But it goes back to the derelict of duty. And I said before on the derelict of duty that Jesus Christ said that if your righteousness isn't higher than that of the Pharisees and the scribe, you're not going to go in, you're not going to be with Jesus. But it's not that hard because Watchtower's derelict of duty, they put the bar down low. And I'm telling you that tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people all over the earth, millions maybe, they are actually growing their own food and providing for themselves and for their family. Why? Because they know that we're being poisoned by big agriculture, right? And so it is not only politics, it is religious. You see, because religion is supposed to protect us, body, mind, and spirit. But Watchtower doesn't give a shit about your body, mind, or spirit. They just care about your money and for you working for them for free. And so it's like, why are you complaining so much? No, because Jesus Christ said that a lot is going to be given to you. And here the governing body wants to pretend to be religious leaders, and they're derelict of duty in every aspect. And when I bought that watermelon, I was pissed off. It just reminds me over and over again. Why aren't all of their kingdom halls filled with people, with classes and people growing food? And if it's true that we're living in the last days, then all the more reason why. But see, Watchtower can't do it. They always talk a good game that God's going to bring something and fix it, but they don't fix nothing now today. And I did a video about a year and a half ago where I says, you can't live forever on paradise earth. Jehovah's Witnesses are lying through their teeth because I showed you that they're over there in New York State, in Wallkill, right? And then in Tuxedo Park. And I was showing you prices of acreage. So if you really wanted to create a paradise earth, every Jehovah's Witness, a one or two from every congregation should sell their home and move to that part of New York and create their acres into little mini paradise. And then they can show the world how it's done. Imagine the Amish doing that, the Amish buying the next door neighbor's property, and then the Amish get bigger and bigger and the property gets bigger. And then it becomes one big paradise earth. The point is, Jehovah's Witnesses are talking out of their ass. Paradise earth, my ass. Because you can't even make paradise earth today in your property. Now, you may have a nice compound, but it's because everybody works like slaves. You put people in small little apartments, but you won't give them an acre of land. You guys steal it all for yourself. And yeah, you might have your little park and beautiful area, but the guy that fixes it doesn't get a monthly stipend, or very small one, because he's a volunteer. You use slave labor. That's the whole point. You talk a good game about paradise earth. Bullshit paradise earth. Do it now. You go to jw.org, type in genetically modified food, see what you find. They're silent. They don't say shit. And if they did, they probably write a 1-paragraph article on it. They don't get into it. But sinners down the street have websites talking to you about the genetically modified food and how dangerous it is and what you can do about it. There's this other guy, he's a friend of Alex Jones. He's crazy too, but God love him, Mike Adams. And he talks also about how those Tide tablets. And he's a scientist, a food scientist, and he was one of the great videos. I don't think YouTube has it anymore. They took it down from his YouTube page, and he talks about the toxic chemicals that are in those Tide pods. And one of the problems was kids were ingesting them because they thought they were candy, like little kids, because they weren't secured. But all that stuff goes into the water system. And so what would Watchtower say? Well, God has a kingdom, Daniel 2:44, and it's gonna fix everything. But in the meantime, he ain't doing shit. Watchtower ain't doing shit. But the people that are doing something then say, hey, listen, you can have a laundry detergent that's natural. And let me do a video. Let me show you. YouTube is filled with people that love their neighbor that are doing videos saying, this is how you make natural soap. Why the hell does Watchtower not do that when they have all of the video capabilities in their Ramapo video center? This is what I'm saying. Talk is cheap. They're derelict of duty. And if it's the subject of watermelons and you say, Watchtower doesn't have a responsibility, you're full of shit. Because Jesus Christ says you wanted to be the leader of the church. You want to be a pastor. You want to be a priest. And Leviticus 8, Aaron was in charge to make sure that the health standards of the food, how the animals were killed, the utensils, how everything was supposed to be treated. Naturally, it was a primitive lifestyle. God didn't give Aaron a microscope. God didn't give Moses a microscope. But with the knowledge that they had in that time, they got the information they needed to live a clean, healthy lifestyle. Now, today, it's different. We have nitrates, right? We have crock pots. We can eat pork, okay, safely. So the point I'm trying to make is that Aaron, a priest, a leader of a religion, was not only focused on the spiritual well-being of a person, but the mental, physical, the health of the individuals. When Jesus Christ came, he wasn't just talking to people and giving them spiritual food. He was curing their diseases, their ailments. And a lot of the people that had demons inside them, do you really think they had demons? You have to understand that they had language. Their language was different than our language. Maybe the people that had demons didn't have demons. They were on LSD or mushrooms or some kind of drugs. Don't believe me? Go to Walmart, go to Walgreens. It looks like the people that Jesus was surrounded with when he was here on earth. They were, I don't know. I don't have video evidence. And some stupid fact checker is going to go on the comment section, and he's going to try to find it on Wikipedia. What a moron. Drugs have been around since forever. Right? People smoke everything, I'm sorry, man. Somebody who smokes weed, probably in the privacy of his bedroom, is going to the backyard and smoking mushrooms that are coming out. Who knows? But people have been doing crazy stuff since the beginning of time. So that's why I say, of course, during the time of Jesus, some of those people that were possessed by the devil, maybe they were drug users. Maybe they couldn't get off their habits. So I don't know. That's just something that I think about because I see it every day here in Phoenix, Arizona. But the point I'm trying to make is that Watchtower should do what I would do. Look, if I were part of the governing body in my office, because they kicked me out, I'm no longer even though I'm an elected member of the governing body of Jehovah's Witness, like you see behind me. What I would do is I would do a video, and I would in the spirit of Jehovah's Witnesses, bring in miracle melon seeds, just like you saw. I would tell the people, I was going to call them Jehovah melon seeds, but I call them miracle melon seeds. And you can get one for $6.07 or $19.14 for 7 seeds. And you just email me, ggforgb@ggforgb.com, and say, hey, Gilbert, how can I get me some of them miracle melon seeds? And why 7? Well, because as a Jehovah's Witness, we know that Revelation is grand climax at hand. 7 is a perfect number. So if you just want to get 1 seed, that's okay, 607, and you could probably get 10 or even more watermelons per one. But if you get 7, According to the Revelation book, 7 is a perfect number, and that means your $19.14 will bring a 7 perfect harvest, because 7 is a perfect number. See, so that's what I would do as I was in the governing body of Jehovah's Witness, and to say to Keith, no wheat, no, we're graduating. Who wants wheat when you can have melons? And for proof of that, Jehovah's Debater says Miracle Melons, that was my first wife. That's why I called it Miracle Melons too, because Miracle Melons has the same wording of Revelation, its grand climax at hand. So it's grand climax at hand. I mean, who really thought of that? So in the spirit of its grand climax at hand, we have the miracle melon seeds, like his first wife. So Jerusalem juice, I was thinking of stuff like that. Yeah. So that was my whole thing on the derelict of duty. If you think that Watchtower's been derelict of duty, and I've already talked about the financial side, I just mentioned a little bit just on health, just good health knowledge and education. Imagine going to the Kingdom Hall and everybody learning, or everybody is encouraged to grow onions, garlic, and there's a whole bunch of onions and garlic and lettuce, and everybody is taught, hey, we're all going to grow different types of lettuce now that the season is here, because the season is going to start in here September in Phoenix after the last heat. This is where, once the temperatures drop in the winter, because we have mild winters, the lettuce season. So imagine everybody now comes to the meeting not empty-handed, not with money, but everybody comes with food that they could share, because sharing is caring. But see, you can't do that, because when people do that, you liberate them. It's a liberation. And when you keep them stupid and you don't do that, you have them slaves. Perfect example. My brother Jesse and I talk about how, imagine if a church in a neighborhood went door to door, and instead of passing magazines, they convinced everybody in the neighborhood to plant an orange or a lemon tree, because here, orange and lemon trees grow very well. And then you also had classes on how to grow date trees, because date trees can grow like weeds here, and how to pollinize them, with Q-tips, because you live in the city, there's not that many bees, and how to thin them out so the dates will grow. So we got oranges, lemons, grapefruits, tangerines, watermelons, lettuce, dates. We have all this in Arizona that just grow like they grow wild, man, if you let it in its season. So the point is this: would you go to Walmart, Safeway, Kroger, Fry's? Would you go there? Trader Joe's? Would you go there for melons? No. Eventually, the state of what you live in, Gavin Newsom or our crooked governor here in Arizona, they would come down on you on the church. Why? Because they don't want people giving away things for free. See, God gives you free seeds, but college educated people take away the seeds. So should you not go to college? Go to college. But there's landmines everywhere. And it's the responsibility of the priest, the religious leaders, to educate people and talk in the manner that I'm talking to you. Hell, I think I might have to start a church based off of this very subject. Now, there are people that don't like the big watermelons like the one I have. I should bring it over here. Some people like Mimi's or mini melons. Yeah, some people, hey, they have a fetish for mini melons. Do you sell Miracle Wives? No. Miracle testosterone. I haven't had Miracle Millions in 7 years. Okay, so guys, I hope you like this video. We're going to be on Joe and Fran here pretty soon. And Jesse and I are going to be doing a really good video about how Watchtower is listening to our videos. We got it, man. Remember I said it can't be a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. And we're going to tell you why they're listening and responding. And it has to do with the ego. It has nothing to do with Jesse or myself. But when you hit them and you hit them hard in their ego, they can't help it. But I'm going to leave that uh, in another video. We learn more from a 4-hour YouTube video than we ever could in school or in the theocratic ministry school. Now here it says, college people know right from wrong. No, not necessarily. A lot of people go to college and they're like Jehovah's Witnesses. They know everything. And when you point it out to them, they have a religion just like the Jehovah's Witnesses. Don't attack my religion. All I'm saying is this: the Amish, all of their watermelons have seeds, and some of the people that go to college, what do? Seedless watermelons for the corporations, the patents. But other ones say, I don't want a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that. And they go and work in a different industry called the organic and so forth. They go work somewhere else. They don't want to be part of it. They don't want to play. And that's all we're saying. We're not saying that college is bad. We're saying that regardless of what church you go to, what school you go to, regardless of what bar you go to, it doesn't matter. Wherever you go, there's going to be landmines. And a good priest like Aaron, or a good minister, or a good elder, or a good pope, or good whatever, he's going to be teaching the people of the landmines and the pitfalls that are out there. So that's my take with this video. And that's why I say that Watchtower is derelict of duty. How many times do I have to say it? Watchtower is guilty of their duty. They want all of the publicity. They want all of the, they want to travel the world. They want to eat the best food and be on the best hotels and everything else. But when it comes to actually teaching kids, well, look at the Jehovah's Witness kids. They're committing suicide. Go to YouTube and type in Jehovah's Witness suicide. And it's because the governing body is derelict of duty. They all want the pub. Now, Jehovah's Debater says college is like my mother-in-law, nasty and ignorant. And a lot of that is to piss you off and get you upset. But hopefully, and by doing that, it makes you think, and you see, this is why at the GG for GB, we talk to you about things that you'll never hear at the Kingdom Hall and you'll never hear on other apostate channels. So thank you for tuning in. Hop on over. I think it's going to be on Vern's channel. We're going to be talking with Joe and Fran, and God willing, Jesse and I will do a video tonight, because you say, Gilbert, why would you do three videos in one day? Well, the reason sometimes we need to really do a lot of videos is because, well, let Lena Lamont help you understand.
We bring a little joy into your humdrum. If we bring a little joy into your humdrum lives, it makes us feel as though our hard work ain't been in vain for nothing. Yeah. Bless you all.
Yeah. So I know a lot of you have humdrum lives, and that's why Jehovah's Debater and I are here to help bring spice into your life, but also to help you think about things that you never would hear at the Kingdom Hall. And that's why we bring up these subjects, because these subjects you're never going to hear anywhere else. And that's a good thing, because we're not all thinking alike. And the moment we all start thinking alike, we all become Jehovah's Witnesses again. So guys, don't think I'm criticizing. No, I'm saying it's good that we all think differently. So we'll see you with Joe and Fran, and I'll see you later on tonight. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. And let me know what else is Watchtower derelict of duty of, and we'll talk about that.